All right, let's get this windage tray bolted down, torqued down. We're gonna get the pickup tube in and get the pan installed. So then the bottom end is pretty much done. Just the back side, I'm gonna have to do the rear main seal and all that once I lift this off the stand because I can't get to it. The stand is not set up for being able to access the back. I already tried. So let's start. We're gonna start by torquing all these down to 28 foot-pounds. This one I left off on purpose. That's where the pickup tube is gonna go. We're gonna do that one last. So let's get these all torqued down to 28 foot-pounds. All right, now we're gonna get this pickup tube installed. The kit for when you buy a new oil pump or get O-rings, it's gonna come with a black and a green. The green one's only meant for if it's tapered or has like a recess in it. Otherwise, if it's straight, as you can see on this one, there's no taper. It's just straight across. You're gonna use a black one. I put some lube on the O-ring itself so it doesn't tear. Still put a little lube inside the oil pump here. So we're gonna get this set in. All right, so we got this in. So before we torque that down, we're gonna put the bolt in here, and this one's gonna be, I believe, 106 inch-pounds. All right, now we're gonna torque down the last windage tray bolt that holds the pickup tube in on this side, back down to 28 foot-pounds. All right, two things I like to do before putting the pan on is in these corners where the two gaskets meet, I made sure these were put in right and they were sitting a little past flush, but putting a little bit of this high temp gasket maker on there on both corners just helps prevent any leaks when you put the pan on. Another thing I like to do is put a little oil down this pickup tube almost until it's coming out, because it helps prime your oil pump down there for when you go to prime it. All right, so we got the oil sitting in there, priming the pickup tube. Another thing is you just want to make sure that you spin this over a couple times and make sure nothing's hitting in there and you have enough clearance, which I already did. So we're good to go on this one. Let's get the pan on. All right, now we got the oil pan dropped on and I quickly just set all these in finger tight, all the oil pan bolts, just to make sure the gasket lined up so this RTV can get in the right spot, and to make sure everything lines up before we torque it down. Because if the gasket's not lined up, you start tightening them down, and then one side you're gonna have one that doesn't fit or something. So let's get these tightened down real quick, and then we'll torque them down. All right, so now we're gonna torque the pan down. We're going to 18 foot-pounds. As far as I know, there's not a proper like torque sequence. I normally just do like a crisscross, start in the middle and work your way out. We're not doing the back two. Those ones are, I think, at like 106 inch-pounds. Those will go to the rear main seal, but I can't do the rear main seal until after I get this off the engine stand. So we're leaving those ones alone for right now. We're just gonna torque everything else down to 18 foot-pounds real quick. All right, this thing's starting to look like an engine again. I got all the parts coming in, the lifters and all the gaskets and new bolts and everything for the heads. So we'll be getting those on hopefully by the next weekend. We've got to work all weekend, but yeah, starting to look like an engine again.